On the side. Am I supposed to see two?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So we are live. I'm just gonna check. Hey guys, and make sure we are live.
Okay.
Yeah. There we are. We
Okay.
live. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So welcome. Let me get my comments up, y'all. Let me make sure I got my comments. If you are joining us here, just you know how we do it. Go ahead and drop in the comments where you checking in from. This is your girl Deb, the travel hacker, coming to you live for Trip Talk. And y'all know this month we're talking all about self-care, and we have our guest speaker with us today, Miss Venus Diann. And she is the author of Schedule a Time to Cry, A Butterfly's Journey from Marriage to Heal. So we wanted to bring her in and have a conversation today. So as you come in, now you guys know we are on StreamYard today. So if you come in, you may need to click if you want us to see your name. If you have questions, you might have to click the StreamYard link in the comments. Okay. Um, I just want to make sure. Yep, the StreamYard link is in the comment to give them access to your name. So make sure that you do that. So welcome, Venus. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
taking the time to come in and chat with our community today in Deb's Travel Club. We are so excited to have you and have this conversation with you. So I had the opportunity. Well, actually, let me just caveat here that I've known Venus for a long time. We're practically family. My cousins lived um, like right across the street,
Mhm.
practically, and we all kind of grew up together. And I'm just excited about what she's done, and I just want to introduce it to the world and all of my friends, all of my community. And I just enjoyed reading the book. I have to admit that I saw some of myself in the book, like I think a lot of women who have gone through, this type of experience will also see themselves in this book as well. And I hope that it will help someone along the way that hasn't had this experience, but may be in a situation like this and not sure where to go or what's going on or why they're feeling the way that they're feeling. Um, to take a moment to grab this book and read it. So the title of the book is Schedule a Time to Cry, A Butterfly's Journey from Marriage to Heal. So, Venus, my first question is what made you write this book?
Well, the real reason I wrote the book, well, okay, so let me go back. So 2020, everybody know COVID, and I had been divorced since August 8th, 2017. And when the pandemic struck, I mean, the world shut down. So we were bored. We didn't have anything to do, and it was still I was still in transition from being married for so long. So it was kind of like cathartic to me. It was a healing, and it gave me something to do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because we were definitely looking for something to do.
Absolutely. And sometimes you
And
just have to write your pain.
that's it. That's
Hmm.
it. That's it. And so with that being said, throughout the book, as I'm reading the book, you and as I know and I've seen you just online and on your Instagram, just post inspirational quotes and things from other people. So you have quotes throughout your book that really kind of some of them really kind of touched me. And the first one was when you focus on yourself, love yourself, and some relationships have to go. I may be saying it wrong, but that's
Hmm.
basically what it said by
Hmm.
Adrian Michael, I think it was. But when you focus on yourself and love yourself, some relations have to go. Some relationships have to go.
Hmm.
Now that could be, intimate relationships. This could be friendships. This could be anything based on relationships. But I know that you based it definitely on your relationship that your marriage that you were going through.
Hmm.
Um, what touched you about that particular quote? Do you remember as you were
Yeah,
writing?
yeah, pretty much. I'm a lover of quotes, and anybody that follows me on Facebook knows that not only am I a lover of quotes, but I'm a lover of words. But I feel like we can go down through there sometimes, and we allow people. You can start out with a good, healthy self-esteem, and after so many years repetitively hearing negativity all the time, and you're not this and you're not that, and after a while you start to believe it, and you wonder, how did I get here, and why is my self-esteem so low, why do I feel so bad? But when you start to love yourself, you know that the way somebody is treating you is not the way that you should be treated. And it takes a lot, because I mean, it's not the easiest thing to love yourself. It takes some practice.
It does. I mean, we
Mhm.
can walk around and say, I love myself," but I mean,
Mhm.
literally, do you truly love yourself?
Absolutely. And
And
if you don't believe it,
what does that really look like to some people? I mean, because we put harmful stuff in our bodies
oh
sometimes.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We accept harmful stuff
Mhm.
from time to time. And so is that really, sometimes when we say we love ourselves, we have to go back and think about, all of those types of things as well. Do we, are we really focusing on us and really loving ourselves? So
Absolutely.
that kind of stuck with me. So I was like, okay.
Mhm. And we can
Good.
choose all kind of vices, but right now I think writing is my vice.
And that's definitely one of the questions that I had for you is, how does, because you speak about journaling even throughout your book,
Mhm.
how does journaling help us like mentally? Like, how did I can see how it helped you, like, kind of, but just tell us a little bit about journaling, because I
Okay.
heard it a lot. Like, you should be journaling. You gotta, this kind of gonna walk you through,
Mhm.
and you're gonna really journal and tell the truth about it. And then when you go back and read it, you're gonna really,
Mhm.
really know what, the truth
Mhm.
is.
Right. And some people, I'm an introvert. Hey, I'm an introvert, and a lot of people around all the time, it can drain my energy. And writing is just my thing. That's my solace. That's where I can just come and just, I know nobody has to read it. Some things are just for me. So I have a million private journals, but sometimes you have to write it to get it out, to release it. Some people are great speakers. They like to get up and speak, and they can tell their story, and they can go around and give their testimony. But me, once I write it down, I can release it.
That's good. That's a
Mhm.
good thing. And that kind of brings me back to brain dumping a little bit. For me,
Okay.
as an entrepreneur, I keep a lot of stuff in my head,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm always stressing though, because I'm afraid I'm going to forget,
Mm-hmm.
what it
Mm-hmm.
is.
Mm-hmm.
But when I actually write it all down, I don't care if it's a list of 100 things.
Mm-hmm.
I can breathe. I mean, it's a release,
Mm-hmm.
and I can breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, I ain't gonna forget that. I got it on the list. I know that's not journaling,
Mm-hmm.
but I do know sometimes I get stuck with journaling because I think it should be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that I should just be writing just my thoughts. I think,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, I don't know if I really want to say that. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Instead of just writing and freeing myself of whatever
Mm-hmm.
it is that I'm going through at that moment. And I think journaling, like you said, kind of helps you do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's a mental thing too, right? When you
Yeah, and I've
say,
always kept a diary. I've had a diary, good grief, probably since I was like 12.
oh
And I
wow.
remember my sister Erica. It's an age difference between us, and I moved out. I was grown, and she found my diary. And my mom, oh my God, my mom found that diary, snatched that diary up from her fast, quick, and in a hurry. And she told me, said, nah, I can't let this girl be a bad influence on my baby. On my baby.
And yeah, that was a thing too, having a diary and having it
Mm-hmm.
locked up and
Having it
having
locked.
all your little secrets in there.
Uh-huh.
Um, I
Like
tried that
nobody
too.
could get in that little bitty
Yeah,
flimsy
that little
lock.
bitty lock. Yeah, so that, that I think everybody should do it or at least try it.
Mhm,
Try journaling and just start
mhm,
getting those thoughts on paper. Like Venus says, it may be something that you don't even, it could be your own private thoughts. You don't have to,
mhm.
nobody has to see it. And maybe I should think more about it that way versus, because I don't know, for some reason I'm always scared somebody gonna find it. And I'm like, I'm talking about them, it's like, oh my God, they gonna find it and it ain't gonna be right.
Hey, if somebody find it, especially after you're no longer on Earth, you live
That's
forever.
all right then, ain't it? That's all right. All right. Well, thank you for that. So, I want to kind of go back a little bit because in the book it talks about you talk about doing what you were taught to do, right? Um, and it brought you back to your father, and you talk about how you had a moment with your dad, and he always was like suck it up type of thing,
Mhm,
I don't get emotional, don't cry.
mhm,
And it made me think about how even when we get whippings, right,
mhm.
our parents are like, you better not cry, don't you cry,
Right.
I dare you cry. Wipe them tears, so all of these types of things we learned growing up, or we were
Mhm.
taught growing up that if you cry, it's a sign of weakness and all of those things. So, do you find it hard for women to get out of that status quo?
I find
Um,
it hard for me
to get
because,
out of
yeah, I'm the firstborn and first girl, and I just feel like my father raised me more like a guy. And then later I thought, he probably just could not stand to see the sight of my tears. Cause then I probably get my way. You know what I'm saying? But I
yeah.
just think that, he would say, don't you tune up to cry, you smart, you strong, And then every time I felt like I wanted to cry, I heard that. And the next thing you know, I'm like, and then I'm straight.
Right.
But inside I wanted to cry. And I envy people that could just cry at the drop of a hat because sometimes for people crying is allowing their emotions to escape. For me, I didn't cry, so I had to write.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That makes sense. That
Mm-hmm.
makes
So
sense.
writing is not going to be for everybody. Some people just have to cry. Some people hit the gym. Some people just need to go walk. Some people need to pray. Me, I have to write to get rid of it.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I find it that, you try to not cry in front of people. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like he
Mm-hmm.
ain't gonna see me. I wish I wanted to have seen me cry. I am not gonna cry. I might be out here, but honey, he ain't gonna see me cry.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and it's about being strong.
Mm-hmm.
Because women are known to be. We learn to be strong, right? We
Right.
were taught that we carry the weight on our
Mm-hmm.
shoulders
Mm-hmm.
a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times. So a lot of times we don't find that we can't even have time to cry. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? We're doing so much. We're trying to take care of
Mm-hmm.
the family. We're trying to, take care of our friends and work and clean and, cook and do all the things
Mm-hmm.
that we feel like we're supposed to do because we're
Mm-hmm.
women, right? We were raised that way. We don't have time to cry. Who got time for that?
Exactly. But you got to make time for it, though.
You got to make time
I've
for it.
learned how to schedule a time.
Yeah, yeah. Because, like I think you said in the book, you did the Oprah ugly cry. And
Yeah.
sometimes when you let just cry, I mean, just sometimes you just have to
Mhm,
cry.
mhm, mhm.
And when you do, you feel so much better.
100%.
So much better. So so that's good. And we're gonna talk a little bit more about scheduling at times to cry. So if you're just getting here, guys, I am your girl, Deb, the travel hacker. This is a special trip talk. We're talking all this month about self care. We have Miss Venus Diann here, the author of Schedule a Time to Cry, A Butterfly's Journey from Marriage to Heal. And we're just having a conversation. So if you guys have any comments or any questions that you want to jump in, just drop them in the chat, and we'll get to those. Another part in the book, the conversation you had with your head and your heart had
Mm-hmm.
was enlightening to me. I think as a woman, we have these conversations internally all the time, but we don't really,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
they are not that vivid as they are
Right.
as you had it as you wrote them in the book. And they're all, they're about life decisions a lot of times, and we're still, we're just trying to figure it all out.
Mm-hmm.
But that conversation that your head had with your heart was real. I mean, like, I was like, oh my goodness. For her to even, be able to bring this conversation to light
Mm-hmm.
was amazing.
Thank
So,
you.
um, can you just talk a little bit about that conversation?
Hmm. I actually remember it. So I'm riding the word, riding the word. That's my drive time. That's I don't listen to music. I talk to God, and I think this particular morning, honestly, it felt like I was just trying to make a decision. You know, am I really going to do this? Am I just talking? Am I talking out the side of my neck? What's up? And I think a part of me was the devil's advocate, which was my head trying to be reasonable, but the heart was like, oh, I'm not buying this. Let's be
Mhm.
happy finally. You know what I'm saying? So, but when I look back on it, I'm thinking, I think that was a conversation with God, because it's almost like two people were really having a conversation in my head, and it tripped me out, but it just seemed like it was normal. And I
Mhm.
had to write it down, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was
It,
crazy.
well, that really kind of, solidified some things for me, because I was like, we always, in this battle, right?
Mhm,
Um, we're always trying to figure things out in our head, and not
mhm,
really out and speaking it out and having conversations with people to try to figure it. And sometimes it's better to have it on the inside and have that conversation, because everybody ain't worthy of hearing these
absolutely.
conversations, right?
Mhm,
Because we don't know where they're gonna go afterwards,
mhm,
you know. So that kind of made me think, we always have that internal battle anyway
mhm.
with the devil, right? We
Oh,
trying
yeah,
to do the
absolutely.
right thing, and not, and trying to do the right thing, but the devil telling us to do something different.
Mhm,
So we always having these spiritual battles. So that's kind of what came to mind when I was
mhm.
reading that part of the book. I was like, man, she was having this conversation
I
with
know it's kind of
her.
like, like the head to me was the intellect, the reason. And a
Mhm.
lot of times we listen to reason and it makes sense, and you put it down on paper and you look at it and you study and you think that makes sense. But does it? Because
Mhm.
sometimes if you follow your heart, to me, the heart really knows. The heart is true. The heart
Yeah.
is truth. And sometimes you got to tap in and listen to that heart, because it's trying to tell you. Your intellect is saying, oh, this makes sense over here. But 5 years from now, it may not make sense over here. But the heart
Mhm.
is telling you from the off gate, here it is. This is what
Mhm.
you really want. So, hey, I ended up following my heart.
There
It
you
was hard
go.
though. It was not like my first time. No, not my first time, but I would say probably my fourth time in my whole life ever really following my heart and not trying to rationalize and intellectualize something.
Yeah, because we always kind of want some of those things that we ain't supposed to
Mhm.
have, so we try to
Oh
figure out
yeah.
a way to make it right,
Mhm. Mhm.
instead of following always
Mhm.
following the right
Or
thing.
we consider everybody else and not ourselves. Because as
We
women, we hardly ever consider ourselves first. We put ourselves on the back burner.
exactly.
Mhm.
And I think for me, right now, going through some of my little health issues that I'm going through,
Mhm.
it's making me kind of really think about this self-care thing and be
Mhm.
intentional. And then self-care is not just physical, it's mental as well.
Mhm.
So You have to kind of keep those things in mind. Um, there was another quote that touched me in the book. We can't become what we want to be by remaining what we are. And that was
Mm-hmm.
a quote by Max Dupree. I make Dupree. I think I'm saying it
Okay.
wrong. Um, so that's kind of was going back to, you put the same old stuff out there, you're gonna get the same thing back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what touched you about that quote? What made you kind of put that quote in the book?
Honestly, I feel like I made a really big life change. And, either you go forward being the same person that you're not satisfied with, or you just do something totally different. And I just felt like, you know what? I don't know what it's going to look like on the other side, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then I just find out.
Yeah. And
I
sometimes
just figure it out. Everything,
yeah,
you can figure anything out.
and sometimes that's how we go through life, right?
Yep.
Trying to,
Mm-hmm.
once we get over there, then we'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But if we not, if we taking this same road, and doing some of the same things that we've always done, we getting the same results. It's
Mm-hmm.
time to
Mm-hmm.
rethink this thing and
Mm-hmm.
try to, figure out what's really going on, and
Mm-hmm. A
that
lot
might
of
be
it, we are fearful. We're afraid of what's on the other side. Or, if I do it this way and it works, even though it's not really working, but it's okay, we'll keep doing it that way because we don't want to change it.
and we're comfortable, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're comfortable. And sometimes we're comfortable in sitting in what someone said, walk on faith. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we're comfortable with sitting in whatever we're sitting in, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We'll sit in it
Mm-hmm.
for years
Right.
because we're comfortable. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it may not be what we want. We might not be happy in this whole
Mm-hmm.
thing,
Mm-hmm.
but it's familiar. It's
Mm-hmm.
comfortable. We've been here for
Absolutely.
years,
Anything that's familiar, it brings us comfort.
Right, right. But it may not be good for us.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
then
we
the
get
two
used to it.
and we get used
I
to it.
got used to living in dysfunction. It was easy. And the more I did it, the easier it got. But it's something inside saying, oh, I don't know about this.
Yeah. And in the book too, you talk a lot about alone, that you were alone, you was in silence. And I was like, it was like hurt me to my heart. I was like, oh my goodness, because there are so many, not just women, but men that are suffering in silence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's just quiet and they're alone. And when you said silence in the book, I did attribute that to you were alone. You were in this thing by yourself. You didn't,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh my God, my heart is aching. This this is
But
my friend. And then you don't know you and I was telling you before we even got started, you just don't know what people are
mhm,
going
mhm,
through. So
mhm.
I'm gonna say this right now. Check on your friends and your family
Yeah, that's right.
and talk to them. Just I think it's a place in the book where you even say something about tell somebody. Even if you scream it to a hole in the ground,
Yeah.
talk to somebody.
Yeah, sometimes you have to, and a lot of people like I ain't trying to tell everybody my
My
business. Sometimes you
business.
got to find that one person you trust, or
Mhm,
that mentor, or somebody that's been through something similar that they can relate. And
mhm,
then I think too, women, we are ashamed of so many things. We don't know how we're gonna look to other people. They're gonna say, "Oh, she couldn't even stay married. What's wrong with her?" or whatever. But you know what? Sometimes you got to be true to yourself because at the end of the day, you born alone, you gonna die alone.
yeah, that's
Hmm.
true.
So
That's
you got to
true.
look out for yourself too.
That's true. That's true. That's so true.
Hmm.
Um, it was something else thing I just lost my throat. I was gonna say, I know that you were saying it a lot throughout the book. I may have to I'll come back around, circle back
Okay.
around to that. Um, but there was I would think I was telling you on page 113. Let me go back to that page.
Okay.
So throughout the book, you talked about, once you did finally get divorced, you talked about, trying to maybe get out, trying to get back out in the dating scene. all the little things that you kind of went through, and
Mhm.
like you were attached to some of the men that you may have met. You had
Mhm.
a strong feeling for them, but you talked about the type of men you were attracting, and that hit home to me because even after my divorce, I felt like I was attracting the wrong men, right?
Mhm.
Either the men didn't have anything, or they
Mhm.
did have something, but they may not have been the type of man that I
Mhm.
wanted. Or but you talked a little bit about the type of men that you were attracting. But on this particular page, you said that these men, these type of men were drawn to you.
Mhm.
Um, and I know when I was going through that, I would always say, "What's wrong with me? What am I putting out there to draw these type of men to me?" Can you speak a little bit about that section
Okay.
of the book?
Okay, yeah. Honestly, at first, I don't think I was drawing or attracting anybody because for the first 6 months, for the first 8 months, I was depressed. I can say for the first 6 months for sure, I was depressed. I moved back home with my mom and dad. I hadn't been there since I was 18. I'm trying to stay out the way. And, I don't want to disturb their groove. I don't want to mess up their peace. Because y'all know, regardless of your age, if your adult child moves back in their house, you're not sleeping till they come in because all of a sudden your world is topsy turvy all over again. So,
Absolutely.
so I wasn't attracting men. It was men coming in my inbox of friends texting me. They wanted to go out. Look, I just got divorced. I don't know how I'm feeling over here. I'm coming
Right.
home every day. Now check this. I come home for work. I ain't told nobody on my job nothing. They don't know nothing. This is we 6 months in, you know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
I did tell HR so they could change things up for me. But other than that, girl, I came home and I went straight to my bedroom, shut the door, got under the cover, fully clothed. I did take my shoes off and watched reruns of Sanford and Son and cracked up like I ain't never seen Sanford and Son before. And I'm thinking, V, you are laying here crying, laughing.
Oh, well.
And I did that almost every day. I still got up and went to the gym because I knew that if I didn't go to the gym, I'm just going to lose it up here. You know what I'm saying? Because that was
Mhm.
my mental health reliever. But other than that, girl, Red Fox done got me through a many a days. You hear me? Him and old Lamar.
Yes, yes, yes. So that journey that you took to kind of figure out, because I mean, we do take these journeys, right?
Mhm,
Like
mhm,
we lonely, right? We,
mhm,
and at some point we are saying, well, what's wrong with me? But
mhm,
why he didn't love me? Or did he love me? Or was he just, and then you feel like, okay, but maybe it's something better out there, right?
mhm,
So maybe we should start dating a little bit more, or maybe we should start dating at some point. But then we come across the same stuff we've been dealing with, right?
mhm. I feel like
Um,
guys, they were like, oh, she divorced. I mean,
yes,
I don't know what the connotation is of divorce. Like, oh, girl, divorced women, they must be desperate. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
yeah, and I felt like that was the energy. Like guys
okay.
was, stepping to me, but I wasn't ready for any of that. And I didn't mean to be rude. And I even wrote about it in my book. It's like I think maybe the name of it was "Don't Come From Me Unless I Send For You" or whatever. That was
Yes,
the name of
that
the
quote,
chapter.
yes.
I was getting overwhelmed, and I wasn't interested in anybody. The only man I was interested in was Red Fox and Sanford and Son.
Someone says the laughing will save your life. Yes, thank
Mhm.
you for that. It will. It will. So thank you, Sanford and Son, Red Fox, and all that. We
I
appreciate
know. Fred G. Sanford got me through my depression.
that. um, I did make a note. I think it was the afterwards. Um, Let me find that page because I think that's what that was.
Mhm.
And let me see.
And laughing will save your life for sure. It absolutely
You
will.
talked about another TV show you watched. Blackish. You talked about watching Blackish, and
I love
Blackish
me
put
some
me
blackish.
through. I think it was the afterwards. Okay. Yes. So some of the things you said at the end of the book,
Hmm.
um, I don't know why this okay, let me go this do it this way. Okay, there we go. So some of the things that you said at the end of the book in your afterword, you said
Hmm.
wait, and then
Hmm.
you talked about just giving some things that oh, I know what it was. Let me rewind back.
Okay.
You went through I when I read in the book, I know you had went to marriage counseling maybe once
Hmm.
early on in your marriage. And then after the divorce, I think you went to counseling again,
Hmm.
a therapist, and how you fired your therapist. I was like, oh my goodness, you went through this, and then
Oh yeah, I did. I
she
mean,
started talking to a therapist, but
uh-huh.
then that wasn't working out, and just having the courage, because even you talked about not even like, how am I going to, I don't know if you said it like this, but how am I going to go in here and fire her?
Hmm.
And having the courage to do
Hmm.
that, because you knew that she wasn't helping you.
Yeah, she was.
Um,
I don't even know if she was listening, but what I did, I had went in and I'm talking, 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 and I think she was a PhD, and I said, "Ooh, let me go to a PhD. She really gonna get me straight." So I noticed that every time we come, I would go. She would say, "So what? Where did we leave off? Blah 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 blah." And I'm thinking she ain't even really listening. So the next time I went in, I was like, "So where did we end? I forgot." She didn't have no. She was like, and I was like, you know what? This
yeah,
ain't gonna work because I don't think she was really listening. She was collecting that check, but I don't think she really heard me.
but I like the fact that you had the courage to go in and
Oh yeah,
notice. You know
I'm
what I
an
mean?
advocate for mental health.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and notice that it's it's more therapists out here. Like she
Hmm.
ain't got to be the
Hmm.
only one. Like
Absolutely, you got to find the right fit.
you gotta find the right fit. Don't be scared to
Hmm.
go through a couple till you find the one that works for you,
Hmm.
and don't be afraid to go
Hmm.
talk to somebody.
Hmm.
I mean, because it's the stigma. Of course, us Black people,
Absolutely. Hmm.
um, it's a big thing that we don't want to go, talk to anybody because we feel we got it all figured out.
Hmm.
We've been through the roughest of times. We ought to be able to
Hmm.
handle all this stuff on our own.
This too shall pass.
Yes, 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 yes. But you sometimes you have to find someone that you can talk to.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if you're not journaling, um if you're not if you don't have that someone that you can talk to, seek out help. I mean, like, seek out somebody to talk to.
Hmm.
Do that. I encourage everyone to do that, because that's part of your self-care. Your mental is
Hmm.
very important. um because you always, you sometimes you can be in a mindset where you say, I would never, I don't even see how people even think about killing themselves. I don't
Hmm.
know what takes them over the edge. You don't know what
Hmm.
might take you over the
Hmm.
edge, but you don't want to get to the point where you go over the edge
Hmm.
without talking to somebody first.
Yeah, and I mean, things are gonna be better later because I never did contemplate anything of that nature. But you think things gonna be better later, but you just want to lay there until they better. So
Yes,
a week can turn into another week and a month, and you like, okay, it's been 3 weeks. I've been laying here. When is it going to change? But when
exactly.
it changes, you don't even know, and that's the beauty of writing. You can write your heart out and you're in the worst place. And then 6 months later, a year later, you look at it and you go, oh my God, I was on the floor. I was on the bathroom floor right here. And now I'm walking upright. And you
Yeah,
like, when did it happen? When did the shift happen? You don't know. That's the
exactly.
beauty.
And so we do have someone asking. We're going to definitely let you know where you can get the book, and we're going to give a free copy away here in just a few minutes. you definitely said something there that triggered. You said you talked about you talked about looking at yourself in the mirror, in the full length mirror.
Mhm.
That stuck with me too, because you was
Mhm.
like, I looked at everything, and I looked at what I liked about myself.
Mhm.
And then I looked at what I didn't really like about myself. And then could I change what I didn't like about myself?
Mhm.
Or was I okay with those things that I didn't
Mhm.
like? And you went into really detailed about how you could see the aging, like you could tell that your eye under your eyes you weren't sleeping good.
Mhm.
And then I want to think you came back around and said, then I looked at myself again.
Yeah, I probably did. And I need to read the book again because Lord, I done lived it for so long. But I think at some point you have to look at yourself, even if you just looking at your face or looking at yourself in the eyes. And the bottom line is that sometimes it's hard to look at yourself,
Yeah.
because you going through all of this, you're trying to change your life. I'm downsizing. I started over from scratch, pretty much gave everything away. Just I don't know. I didn't even know where I was going until 2 days before I left. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
didn't have nowhere to go. I didn't have no plans.
Right,
My mom and
right.
dad said, "Oh Lord, here she comes. Is she coming back?" And she did. When she called, did what? Yesterday. I got rid of her.
Thank God for our parents. I tell you.
Exactly. And I needed to travel light. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, you got to look at yourself, and it was hard though,
Oh
especially
yeah, I bet.
because one of my favorite writers, she's deceased now, Louise Hay. She writes, um, and she wrote a book called "You Can Heal Your Life." And a lot of times, she'll say, you got to look in the mirror and say, "I love you. I honestly love you." And you say it, but you don't mean it. It just,
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And then you just gotta say it enough and enough. And then one day you might, and then that's when the tears gonna flow. You're gonna be like, but I would do one thing that I did is that every day I made myself sit with myself for about 15 to 20 minutes.
That's
Like
hard.
nothing on, no TV, no music, no nothing. Cause you gotta make peace with yourself. Because a lot
Yeah.
of people say, "Oh, I never want to live by myself because it's lonely or I'm bored." I'm not lonely. Once you
Yeah.
make peace with yourself and become your friend and somebody
Mhm.
you really like, you can stay with yourself all day. It ain't no big
Every day. And be like,
deal.
honey, I don't even really want nobody
Hmm.
by that time.
Yeah, I
I
can
don't want
say
nobody
I
in my
don't want
space.
to.
Not that I don't want nobody in my life, but
Right.
you get to where you don't want nobody in your space.
Exactly. And I haven't been lonely. I haven't been lonely. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm kind of digging this whole living by myself.
I know I've been there, so
Mhm.
I get it. It's
I can say it's
peaceful.
clean and neat. I can say
Yes,
that.
yes, yes. So, and you spend a lot of time in the mirror in your book. So, and I
Yeah.
don't want to talk a whole lot more about the book because
But not
I've been
vanity, y'all. Never vanity.
no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no.
It was
It was
just like trying to
always
get
about
straight.
yes,
Hmm.
absolutely. So no, yeah, not nothing like that.
Hmm.
But just really getting to know yourself,
Hmm.
basically. And I'm not gonna talk more about it because I got it's still some good juicy stuff in there, and definitely some things that could help anyone that may be in this situation, going through a divorce or and of course this was going through a divorce of a married couple, but it could be a breakup relationship with a boyfriend.
Hmm.
It could be you could relate this book to a lot of stuff.
Hmm.
But um just the way that she went through the journey that she went through, was the good, the bad, and I don't want to put the good at the end because the good did come out at the end,
Mm-hmm.
So the good is at the end, but she did reveal, you know, the ugly and the bad and how she went through everything that she went through and how she overcame some of the stuff. And I tell you, when you read this book, I'm sure in some piece of that book somewhere you can relate to something that you've been through in your own personal life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't, and I have to be honest. It took me a minute to read. I mean, I ain't read it. She just had it out for a minute. And I'm sad that I'm just reading it now. I should have read it a while back when she first wrote it, but I'm so glad that I have had the opportunity to read it and share it. And you know, share it with my community and other people that might need just, you know, a little bit of this book. Um, but she does at the end, and I will read a few inserts. Um, she says, gentle reader, I would be remiss if I finished this last sip of tea without pouring out a few key takeaways from this journey. If you've ever experienced any type of trauma in your life, past or present, seek help immediately. Talk to God, a therapist, or trust a friend, but talk to someone. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Um, Venus has this book, and we definitely want to give a signed copy away. Um, and she also has blogs. So she
Mm-hmm.
writes blogs on her website, and we'll drop the website here in just a second. But we do want to give a book away. So if you're in here and you can tell us the full title of the book, the full title. So there is a title and a subtitle. So if you can drop the full title of the book in the comments, the first person who can do that, we will send you a signed copy of the book. Now, her blogs, if you want to, you want to talk about your blogs a little bit?
Yeah. So this past November, November 2023, somehow I got an email from a medium, and I'm thinking, what in the world is a medium? Because I'm thinking a medium, I'm thinking some kind of spiritual or psychic kind of thing, but it wasn't. It was a website, and it's a blogging site, and it's a lot of good writers. I mean, like, it's people that I wouldn't even know that would even consider to be on the site blogging. But anyway, I joined, and I am a writing fool right now. Do you hear me? I love this blog. I'm writing everything. I'm writing everything. So I did on the blog, I did do put out 2 chapters of the book, and so I'm writing about everything. This past week, I had to write about my turbulent experience with Amazon Prime. I'm writing about everything. Nothing is off limits, it's random, but mostly my focus is love. I don't know if it's my name or, I'm a love chaser. I'm a self professed love chaser.
But hey, but you know that about yourself. That's the main thing.
Yeah, and I know I love love. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just
Right.
taking my time because I don't want to make no mistakes. I, I
Gotcha.
I love love. So hey,
Yeah. Yeah.
it
That's
is what it
awesome.
is.
That's awesome. So, okay, we got somebody that says, schedule a time to cry. Didn't get the full title. Oh, okay. We got to have the full title, though. We got to have a full title, Joyce. Come on through, girl. Figure it out. Get over there. Check out that blog real quick.
Hey, am I able to write something in the chat or I can't?
Yeah. Can do
I
you
don't
see the
think
chat on your side?
I
If
actually
you do, if you don't, you have to go over. You got to go to the Facebook page. Okay.
Okay, because I was gonna put like I guess that is that my blog? Because I know
That's
it's
your blog
Medium.
link. I put
Okay,
your I put your blog link in there.
okay, okay,
So I'm gonna give them a little bit more time
okay.
to see if they can come up with that full title. Hey Wesley came in. Joyce, I'm waiting, girl. I know you're gonna get that title. But I am also gonna you can definitely purchase the book on Amazon as well.
You want me to go ahead and give her the full name of the book?
No, we ain't giving the full name. We done gave the full name. They gonna have to figure it out now. Figure it out. I'm gonna give y'all about 3 more minutes and see if we can't figure it out, y'all. In the meantime, you can follow Venus on Instagram at I am Venus Diann. I'm gonna put that in the chat as well. Um, yes. So
Now,
who?
if anybody follows me on my blog, please talk to me because a lot of times a lot of times I'm asking questions.
Okay,
Hmm.
okay. We'll give them a few more minutes. They probably some of them probably left to go over to the site to see if they can figure out the name. So we'll give 3. You got 3 minutes. If you don't come up with the name, we're gonna have to give it to you. But then
Come
we
on,
gonna be able to
somebody, so I can write in my book and mail it to you.
But in the meantime, while maybe they trying to figure it out. I do want to thank you so much, Venus, for just
Thank you.
agreeing to come in and speak about your book. It's an
Mhm.
awesome book.
Can I show the book? Oh, I'll
Yeah.
wait.
Uh-oh. We got okay, so we got schedule a time to cry,
Okay,
a butterfly
that's
journey.
kind of, but
That's
it's some omit, but it's some things that's omitted, but it's close enough.
we'll go with it, won't we? We'll
Okay,
go with it.
okay.
Joy,
So,
you got close enough,
so
girl.
here's the
So
book, so you'll know.
schedule a
So
time to
it's
cry.
scheduling a time to cry, a butterfly's journey from marriage to healing. So there you go.
There you go. Beautiful
And
cover.
Debbie, if you get her, if you get the Facebook user's
Yeah, I
address,
got Joyce's information.
okay,
So
good,
I
and
will get
I'll
you
mail
her
it.
email and
Okay.
you'll email it. Wesley, I got you, man. You way off, but you close. But I can definitely I'll send you a personal copy. I'll buy you one, Wes, because you was up in here. I appreciate you, man. Um, so definitely, y'all, we want to thank you all for coming and joining us. Of course, self-talk. Self-care month.
Hmm.
We are trying to just kind of give you guys some tips and just kind of educate you on some self-care stuff and some things that you need to be doing and being intentional, y'all. I can't say enough about being intentional. Being intentional, drinking water, be intentional of drinking your water
Oh
if that's
yeah.
one thing that you've tried to do for self-care. Um, be intentional about walking. You know, I've been telling y'all I've been trying to walk 3 times 3 times a week, not that day, but 3 times a week. I'm trying my best to be intentional about that. But if there's anything in your life, just go ahead and just be intentional about it, y'all. Two of my favorite people, Wesley and I
Hey,
talking.
Debbie, can I say one more thing?
Yes,
I just gonna
absolutely.
say, like, if anybody, you got Mother's Day coming up, I'm sure you got birthdays. These make really good. I around Christmas time, I did girlfriend swag bags. And what I did is this book, tissue, chocolate, maybe some tea, a mug, maybe a bottle of wine, and just give it to your girlfriend. And if you got anybody that's going through a breakup or thinking about getting married, or you know, you know what to do.
Yeah, that's it. That's a
Mhm,
good idea. Um, yeah, because we're definitely got Mother's Day coming up. So if
mhm.
anybody's looking for
Right.
that, and it is definitely a good read too for somebody that is
Mhm. And
about
it's
to
a
get
quick
married.
read. It's gonna
It
take you
is
about 2 hours to read the book. It's quick.
exactly, exactly. So, do you all have any questions? Any questions at all? Any questions? We'll take them. We'll give you guys a couple of minutes, and we'll take any questions that you might have. Again, thank you guys for um coming in and joining us. Tracy Miller's in the house. We got
Right.
Wesley is in the house, and then Joyce Miller is in the house right now. So thank you guys for coming in. If you are catching this on a replay, definitely hashtag replay so we know that you watched it on the replay. And we're gonna encourage Venus to write another book so we can bring her back
Mhm.
again. I'm sure she got enough stuff wrote in her journal. She can probably
Mhm.
come up
I'm
with a
actually
book.
writing a love story.
Oh wow. Oh wow. I
Or
can't
trying
wait.
to anyway.
I can't wait. I can't wait. So
Mhm.
y'all head on over to her website, grab her book or Amazon. Make sure you grab her book, share it with your friends and your family. And guys, don't sit in silence. Get some help. Talk to somebody. Your mental health is very important to you all. And have a happy Tuesday. My days are all running together, so I'm trying to figure it all out here. Have a happy Tuesday. And again, Venus, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for asking me.
You are welcome. And y'all have an amazing day. See ya.
Bye.